There's a question that you might have been asked by somebody. I know I have. And the question is, what would you tell a younger version of yourself? Now, how I am now, my current mindset, I wouldn't tell little Mike, well, my grandfather used to call me anything. If I could, I would get in a time machine and I would go back and I would watch in a cut somewhere eating popcorn because I take full responsibility of, you know, who I was, what I did to me. Early on, I didn't. I used to blame everyone and everything as to why things were happening. I would hold on to things, but I take full responsibility. Now, I understand it. I think if you were anything like me, and you say you got stuck, say you was carrying a certain amount of weight, and even though you knew what you probably need to do, you wasn't trying to do it, or say you just was in a career or situation that you weren't happy with, whatever the case, you get stuck. You want to try to, reconfigure your mindset in order to help you get unstuck. And that's probably one of those questions, man. What could have been different? The issue with that is nothing. So I lean into it. I take full responsibility and accountability, and I fully acknowledge everything that I did to me that had me in those different, phases of life. Had me in them different bodies, right? Just different versions. I can start off with high school. I've said before, I barely graduated high school. As a matter of fact, I don't think I graduated. I think because I had a D at my last progress report before I was supposed to graduate. Then next thing you know, I had a C minus. And the Long Beach Unified School District public school system was just probably trying to get us up out of there. But there were resources that could have helped me. I was too embarrassed. I had too much pride and too much ego to ask. But I had friends that were using those resources. Man, I'm about to go to this little after school program, man. They're gonna help me write these papers. And I would like dog them, I would clown them. But in reality, I knew that I should have been going with them. And did that change the whole dynamic of who I became? No. But it did create some hurdles. I gained the weight. I ultimately had got up to 302 pounds. I'm sitting there eating whatever, drinking whatever, blaming whoever or whatever, right? I take accountability for that. I take accountability of turning myself into an alcoholic back then. Nobody was forcing me to drink. Yeah, there's peer pressure, but nobody was forcing me to drink. I can tell you, before I joined the Navy, I didn't used to drink. I smoked a little, sorry, mama, but I didn't used to drink. Joined the Navy, you hanging around with cats that do it, you start doing it. It went from Friday, Saturday, maybe Sunday if I can deal with it on Monday. And at one point, it was in the mornings. I did that. That 350 credit score that I had, I did that. Because I'm out here financing game consoles and furniture and rims just to impress people that I didn't even end up being friends with not too long after that point. I remember to where even though I was getting BAH, in the Navy you get what's called a housing allowance. And I would go try to find an apartment and I couldn't get something in the better areas because my credit score. So I would go fill out, that's how old I am. I would have to fill out the application and I got my fingers crossed up under the table because they might tell me I need a cosigner for an apartment. I did that though. I messed my credit up. So now I take full accountability for everything that I do. And I'm not even about to hold you and lie and say, man, life just, when you do that, life will just kick open all these doors of opportunity, man. It would just be perfect. It's not, it won't. But I know if I get up and I apply myself, and I always say keep promises to myself, at that point, I sleep better at night. So if I make the right decisions of who I'm hanging around with, I work when it comes to my job. I'm going to give you extra because I'm passionate about what I do. That's something that I'm glad that I did, regardless on the logistics and the semantics of the job itself. I am passionate about helping students do something that I once didn't believe I can do. If you know me, you know that. I am very passionate about my health. Yeah, I'm older. I'm losing muscle. I got a lot of injuries. But I know if I eat this way, I get my body weight in protein. I stay away from that liquor, right? I don't eat a bunch of junk food. I go to bed when I'm supposed to go to bed. I work out when I'm supposed to work out, and I've made it very easy and convenient for me to do so. I'll see the results that I want to see in most cases. But if I had to go back and talk to Lil Mike, I would tell him a couple of things. One, learn to control your emotions. Learn to control your emotions. There was a lot of situations that I had put myself in that just because I had an attitude, even when I first joined the Navy. I'm from LA, man. You going into the military, folks gonna tell you what to do. And I actually held myself up from progress just because I couldn't control my emotions. Whether it had to do with work, friendships, these women I had, I did not control my emotions. And it cost me. Learn to control your emotions. Another one, keep your hands out of people's pockets. I get that now, man. It's a crazy thing that we do to where we got our hands in somebody's pockets when we see that they got something we want. Earn it. Go ask the person what they did in order to get what they got. I remember I was in the military, man, and in the military you got to study to advance in the Navy, and I wasn't studying. And it was so bad to where you would advance, they would call your name over like the intercom. And my last name started with a B. And they would pass B's and get the C's. But if I knew somebody that advanced, I would be mad at them. Next thing you know, I got my hands in their pocket. Man, they was able to advance because of blah, blah, blah. I didn't even study. What I'm mad about. So now I don't look at anybody that got something that I want and I'm upset. I got my hands in their pocket. You lucky you got this. No. I'm going to ask you what you did. Give me the blueprint. And if you're not going to give me the blueprint, I'm pretty sure somebody else will. You will come across people that won't give you the blueprint. That's fine. You'll get the blueprint from somebody else. Another one is, everybody ain't your friend. I know. But one thing I learned in the military is a lot of my friendships were created based on the environment. But once you get out of that environment, you start to realize who your true friends are. A lot of these people can hold you up. A lot of these people will have you in situations you probably had no daggone business being in. Figure that out sooner rather than later. This is an important one, man. Stick to something. Stick to something long enough to see if it really works for you or if it don't work for you. When it comes to fitness, 8 weeks for me. I'm going to try something for 8 weeks before I decide if it's going to work or if it won't work. And doing that, I learned that, man, if you look at any of my workout videos, I'm doing a lot of the same stuff. I'm eating the same food. It's easy to lose the weight and lose fat because I know exactly what I'm tracking. I know it. I either use Claude or I use ChatGPT. I call it ChatGPT, and I put in there what I'm eating. I know what my deficit is. I know how many grams of protein I'm getting in. And then it's just up to the workout, how intense the workout is, even as I'm getting older. The problem is them friends I be talking about. A lot of people gonna tell you something ain't right for you because it ain't right for them. That ain't gonna work. What you doing all that for? I ain't doing all that. I don't care if you're not doing all that. Stick to something. You stick to something long enough to know if it's gonna work for you, you will start separating yourself away from people that's just trying to, it's a lot of naysayers and doubters out there. So when you do that, it will be enough for you to just like, I'm good. I'm gonna rock with this. This is a straight up fitness related one. As a 46, soon to be 47-year-old man who's been 300 pounds, fat, I've been very lean. Fellas, that 200-pound victim weight stuff don't mean nothing. See, the algorithm has a way of pushing everything out there to you. You know what I'm saying? To where you think that something is common until you get off this phone and you get away from that algorithm and you create your own life's algorithm. It ain't a lot of people out here just working out like that. It ain't a bunch of 200-pounders walking around at 9% body fat telling you that. It's none of that. But this is just what's pushed out to us. And because we are living in a reactionary time, and it's a lot of followers out here, and I'm not talking about social media, I just mean in general, we think that stuff is the norm. So when you have somebody tell you, man, hey man, 200 pounds, you under 200 pounds, you victim weight. Get your body fat down. You get your body fat down, you start showing some muscles. If you see what's up under that meat jacket, You'll know exactly what it is that you're doing because you'll be happy when you look in the mirror most days, because I mentioned body dysmorphia before. You'll have more energy, you'll have more confidence, and the world will react to that, bad or good. But we don't. We don't. We see all this stuff on social media, and somehow it becomes gospel. People will start saying the same words verbatim. Man, you get up under 200 pounds, victim weight. Cats don't even be lifting like that. Get your body weight down for health reasons. If your testosterone is low, you carrying a lot of body fat, there's an indicator. So instead of going and hopping on some TRT or whatever, get your body weight down. Everybody does kind of say the same thing though. They tell you about the calorie deficit. I tell you about the calorie deficit, your body weight and protein, just in general. If you don't get that body weight down, a lot of the other stuff won't even matter. It don't matter how much cardio you doing, not doing, what program that you on, right? The best pre-workout, none of that matters if you're eating like a garbage disposal. Get your body weight down so you can see what's up under there. And I tell you what, as somebody that go out here, I go to these college recruiting events for, where I work. A lot of people won't even know how much you weigh. This is what I do. Now I'm about 190 something right now, but if I go somewhere and another fitness type cat come up to you, man, how much you weigh? How much I look like I'm weighing? About 205, man, maybe 210. Oh yeah, okay. I never even correct you. But because of how my frame is and how I carry the weight, you look like that. I don't care about that number on that scale nowadays. Not soon to be 47 years old. Get your body weight down. Because when you out here talking that talk about fitness related stuff, or you like a reviewer for gym equipment, or you just working out in your gym, you want to look like you care about that stuff instead of just talking about that stuff. I'm sorry if that offends you. This one took a while for me to really understand. But your past will not define you unless you allow yourself to get stuck in that past. My father wasn't there, but the time that I had with my grandfather was valuable. He taught me so many life lessons, man, just in general. So I didn't go out into the world like, my daddy wasn't there and this is why I'm making bad decisions. Did I make bad decisions? Heck yes. But I had my grandfather to kind of put me on. I had mentors that I came across in the military. Now, early on, young Mike had ego, had pride, thought I knew everything, wasn't trying to listen. But now those words of wisdom, I remember those. My past does not define who I am today. It just taught me who I could be. Everything that I went through, everything that I overcame, that's my issue, because even though I got off of social media, I feel that I should just be sharing my story. It don't have to be a million people that's relating to my story. All I need is one, maybe two that can relate. If you grew up in the hood, I'm talking like Long Beach, South Central, that's where I used to, hang around, run them streets before I joined the military. If you barely graduated high school, if you flunked out of college, if college was your thing, if you got fat, if you became an alcoholic, if you mess your finances up, you out here running these streets behind these women, you can overcome those situations. But you can't, a lot of times we making bad decisions because we had bad experiences. And when that happens, it just leads to a bad result. It does, man. Get out here, do what you say you're going to do, and stop worrying about that stuff. Because when you overcome it, if you unstick yourself, man, that's a powerful story that you can share with people, because a lot of people are going through that every day. And lastly, little Mike, be an example. Not only to you going to have a kid, but just in general, to these youngsters out here. It's a lot of misguided youngsters out here. Be an example. I refuse to be the adult that's on that do as I say, not as I do stuff. I get my son down here every day, 6:30, running for a circuit. The circuit just consists of, it's a full body circuit. So we do the legs, the biceps, the triceps, abs. Pick your cardio. It'll be either the stairs, a run, or incline walk. Pick it. He listens to me. It used to be me working out with him, but I really don't have to now. I'm just kind of guiding him through it because he sees that on me. Am I in the best shape of my life? No. I'm older, sarcopenia, a lot of injuries, but he sees it. I am not about to tell that young man, 14-year-old young man, hey, When I was your age, I was in this shape, and I don't look like that now. He wasn't there. So how's he going to know that? Lead by example. I'm telling you, your message will be well received by most, not all. There's a lot of weirdos out here. There's a lot of unhappy people out here. I know because I was one of them. But lead by example. You'll be fine. You'll sleep better at night. Stay tuned. I might share my chest workout that I'm about to do. But yes, if I had to go back and talk to young me, what would I tell him? It would be those things. Thank you.